Hey everyone, it's Dr. Romani. It seems like people were okay with me doing the Am I the Asshole? It feels very bad to say that word and be that person, but they're actually quite illuminating these things. I've kind of gone down the Am I the Asshole rabbit hole here. And it's really, it is actually, it's a really interesting place to think about narcissistic abuse and how people are in these relationships. Well, someone brought one to my attention, which I'm going to share with you. Is you got to read this one. So I'm going to read it to you. Let's break this one down. I got to say right from the top, though, it's very interesting to me that the people are posting to this Am I the Asshole site because it's such an interesting insight from the jump about what happens to people in narcissistic relationships. Not all of these are narcissistic relationships, but the ones I've been reading, focusing on obviously have that feel to them. But isn't it interesting? Because really, what is Am I the Asshole? That entire kind of thread is people who are, as everyone does in narcissistic relationships, second guessing themselves like, am I the bad one, right? Isn't that the crux of all narcissistic relationships? So there you go. That's even where this thing got its head of steam. So this one made me laugh. So I had to share this with you because it really made me laugh a lot. Am I the asshole for setting a glitter trap to catch my mother-in-law trying to snoop? I didn't know what a glitter trap was initially. And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. For some weird reason, my mother-in-law really wants to go into our bedroom whenever she comes over, which is a little creepy. On one occasion, I followed her as she went upstairs. I was going to get something for my child as the bedrooms are upstairs. And she walked past the bathroom on the main floor and up the stairs behind it. She didn't hear me, and I caught her walking straight into my room and rifling through bills on my dresser. She denied snooping, even though I just watched her do it. So the mother-in-law is clearly a gaslighter. And she was just going to use our bathroom because she couldn't find the other ones, though it sounds like this woman's been to this house before. She walked right past the one on the main floor and another one in the upstairs hallway to go into our bedroom. Since that happened, I installed an exterior doorknob that requires a key on our bedroom door and one on the door to our office spare bedrooms. Good call. However, she's still always forgetting where the bathroom is and trying the bedroom and office door. This really ticks me off. My husband says that I just get annoyed at this because everything she does drives me crazy. And since we've put locks on the rooms we don't want her in, there isn't really a problem anymore. So the husband's a part of the problem too. It sounds like the husband is almost like the mother-in-law's enabler and is minimizing what this woman's concern is, which is someone's going through her stuff in her personal space. Well, over the holidays, we had my in-laws over for dinner, and before they came, I was searching for the bedroom keys. I hadn't used them in a while since we only lock the doors when the mother-in-law comes over. My husband told me we didn't need to lock the doors since she wouldn't try to get into the rooms, so he's a gaslighter too. And I insisted that she would because she loves to snoop. We went back and forth and decided to cover the doorknobs in superfine glitter to see if she tried them. There's actually an old parable like that. In that case, it was like they had to hold the tail of a donkey. I guess the modern version is people cover doorknobs in glitter. I did this once before when my husband didn't believe me about the snooping to prove she'd been in the rooms. Last time she ignored the glitter, but we didn't say anything about it. But then my husband couldn't deny that she tried to snoop. So this woman is ultra gaslighted, not only by the mother-in-law, but by the husband. So this, I love the glitter as an anti-gaslighting strategy though. So this time I covered the knobs in glitter and for the office went a touch further and rigged a little folder of glitter over the door to the office before the in-laws came over. This lady does have a lot of time on her hands though. I left one side unlocked, the French doors, and it was set. So if you walked in the room, you would get covered with glitter. Okay, very great anti-gaslighting plan here. My husband goes out of his way to show his mother the main floor bathroom when they got here and specifically asks his parents and sister to not go upstairs. So now the husband's kind of, all right, so he is cooperating. There's a baby gate so the kids can't get upstairs either. These people sound like they live in the glittery Pentagon, honestly. Well, guess who had to go to the bathroom and got covered in glitter and had it and had it all over their hands and hair. She completely lost it and started screaming at me. So I yelled back. And now my husband saying I went too far and I'm the asshole. I don't agree. I mean, this is, yeah, this is like, you know what this is? You know, those little thingies they put on clothes in stores like that would, if you I don't know if they blow up with ink though. Though I think sometimes they blow up with ink. Like if it's a very expensive item, there's a thing they put on this thing in the store. If you took the thing out, it would blow up. And they do it in bags of money at the bank. Like you get all the ink on your hands. At least I saw that in a movie, but I think it's true. Okay, so now let me go back. So the glitter has now fallen. Sorry. Ooh, sorry about that. I got so excited that I almost broke my desk. Hold on. This is interesting. So now the husband's mad at her because she's starting, because the mother-in-law screamed because the glitter went on her. The lady writing this screamed at the mother-in-law. The husband says she's the asshole, I guess, for the glitter and for the yelling. The mother-in-law says, I'm the asshole, but the sister-in-law says, I didn't do anything wrong. And the mother-in-law deserved it for snooping. So on top of that, this is a very triangulated family system. The father-in-law is in, oh, I thought, oh my God, I thought she said the father-in-law is in Switzerland. I'd be in Switzerland too. Apparently she says the father-in-law is Switzerland. So I think it's because he's sort of the neutral peacemaker. Apparently her car is ruined now too, because it's covered in glitter that she cannot get cleaned up. So this lady is asking, am I the asshole? And then she said, I can't believe this blew up. And I wanted to say thank you for all the support and the awards. So I guess people thought she was not the asshole. My husband woke up and found this post, and I think the comments have been an eye opener. We're going to start couples therapy in January. So I think that'll be great for us. So maybe Am I the Asshole? The Reddit thread is a way for people to maybe push through their narcissistically abusive relationship. Her husband sounds like an enabler and a gaslighter, and triangulated with the mother. That's what I'm hearing here. And maybe not so much narcissistic. She said, I will be ordering some cellulose glitter that is biodegradable and safe for future projects. So clearly the only way to stay in this relationship is to keep putting glitter on her mother-in-law. And if she comes over again, I will set up a camera or at least print out some fun fake documents. So if she snoops again, she can at least find something interesting. So, it's so interesting because there's so many themes in this one of gaslighting, of familial triangulation. We often talk about really fractious in-law relationships that can involve, in this case, I don't know that the mother-in-law is narcissistic as much as, well, she's very entitled. She has very poor boundaries. She feels entitled to go in that room. Clearly, she doesn't think the rules apply to her. And when the rubber meets the road, she seems to think that her son will, ally with her instead of with the wife. So the son, the husband is trying to kind of play it both ways. He's trying to appease the wife by saying, sure, put the locks on the door, but then is giving in to his mother. And this is actually a great example of how, even in a subtle way, these kinds of antagonistic in-law relationships can unfold. The way everyone wasn't believing, I think this woman got a little bit unhinged with the glitter, but it really kind of does put a finer point on how destabilizing it can feel to get that gaslighted, that you sort of feel like you need to go on a glitter offensive to be able to make your point. And I think even though this is sort of laughable because it's about glitter, and you can only imagine this woman now has glitter all over her house. So the fact that she was willing to take the glitter hit in her own home to make a point, I mean, I sort of applaud the commitment, but it speaks, though, to me in a larger scale, how much frustration there is about these situations for people who are experiencing them and then aren't being heard, right? Isn't that the core of it? And so there's all this sort of gamesmanship and everything else that people are trying to get to sort of engage in to be able to be heard and seen and be able to protect their boundaries, because that's also a lot of what this particular parable of the glitter is about. Is how do you maintain boundaries when people in a very entitled way want to keep encroaching upon them? Because really her only other option is that her mother-in-law was going to sort of feel free to rifle through stuff. I mean, I'm sort of enjoying these, but I think also it highlights in this one, sort of in a silly way, the helplessness that these kinds of relationships can sort of bring up, especially when it starts involving difficult, entitled in-laws. But it also brings up this piece of, do we know if these people are narcissistic? I have no idea. All we're knowing is that they're entitled, they have poor boundaries, they gaslight, they triangulate. I still don't know that I could sit here and say, these are narcissistic people. They're certainly difficult people. It also comes down to, if this was happening to you, you might be sitting, is this person narcissistic or not? This is where I often say, does it matter? Because their conduct is really kind of, it's really problematic. It puts you at odds with them. It's uncomfortable. So this is where I'm saying this is also a great illustration of the label narcissistic, not narcissistic is almost irrelevant. But what somebody who's behaving in such an entitled, boundary violating, gaslighty way, call it what you will, it's really not good for you. So yeah, I'd say to the glitter queen there, you're not the asshole. I definitely give that crown to the mother-in-law, crown made of glitter. But I think next time you probably want to try a less messy intervention to try to stop the gaslighting. But I feel her pain. So I hope that makes that one clear. Keep sending them in. Someone sent us that one. Keep sending them in. We'll break them down. Thanks again.